All right, happy Wednesday night, everybody. Welcome on into Diamond Talk, coming to you from the Raiderland World Headquarters tonight. Texas Tech baseball season over. Questions to be asked. We'll discuss all of those things with you tonight on the show. Want you to be a part of the program. Thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street, you can do just that. They handle all of your grocery shopping needs. In fact, all the cool stuff that you might need. Flowers, you can get flowers there. You can get wine. I'm talking about taking care of your wife. That's right, because you guys probably screwed up at some point during the week. Market Street will make it better. Go check them out. All right, we've got all that going on tonight. Texas Tech falls to Cincinnati 6-5. Day one, Big 12 baseball tournament in Arlington. I'll give you my thoughts. And the game is almost secondary. It is now what's next for Tech as a program. And we'll ask you today, what do you want to see and why? Your thoughts. I'll give you mine. We got a litany of thoughts. This has been a slow train rolling for the last month and a half, 2 months into the station. The train came to the station today, and it wasn't a good way to end the year or the season or the last 2 seasons. So get your mind right, get your thoughts together, get in on that United Supermarkets chat line. Let's make it happen in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. That's where you start your day every day. Now, we had like a glitch on the back end of the website. Not us, our web host. Something going on. Could not post our Wednesday What If column and Raiderland hot links and everything else. I believe we're good to go in the morning, and we should have this posted on the website later on tonight. But that's why we were not there with you. I still love you. I still want to have that column out there every day. Don't worry, we're going to do it. But something weird was going on. We're brought to you tonight by the Shropshire Insurance Agency of Texas. That's right. The Shropshire Agency here in Lubbock, nearly 70 years, locally owned and operated, but expanding even beyond just the Lubbock area. So if you're one of our viewers and listeners and watchers and members of Raiderland around the state, you need to call Jeff Shropshire. Tell him we said hello. Independent, just like you, handling all of your insurance needs. And by Tall Pine Resort in Red River, New Mexico. All right, so you're thinking about going to the mountains. You want to do some fishing. But maybe you don't want to stay in town. And we love our friends at Lifts West. And that's where you stay if you want to stay in town. But if you want to go with the valley a little bit, you want to turn back time. No phones, no TV. Well, I would call a rustic modern cottage waiting for you, private lake, stream access, all of those things where you can kind of disappear for a few days during the summer. You need to call Terry and Lance. They're at Tall Pine Resort. My family first stayed there in the early 1950s. I grew up cutting my teeth there at Tall Pine Resort. It's a special place to me, and we're glad to have them as part of Raiderland, and that they're keeping that alive. So if you're looking for something just a little bit different this summer, hey, check it out. Check out their Facebook page for Tall Pine Resort, website, everything else. When you go to book, tell them we said hey. All right, let's get it going. Where are we going to start tonight? James, thumbs up. Craig, the talking box is on. Indeed, it is. We're off and rolling. Texas Tech here on Diamond Talk falls 6-5 to Cincinnati. This game was pretty much a microcosm of the season. Nothing was horribly bad, but nothing was really good. You had a couple of errors that haunted you. Mac Hewer wasn't awful, but he wasn't great. Jack Siebert came in, tried to settle it down. You had opportunities at the plate. You couldn't convert with runners in scoring position and get enough runs, and you get beat 6-5, and that's the way the season went. So many different times, over and over, rinse and repeat. So you're not going to be in the NCAA tournament for the second year in a row. We're talking about a program that from 2014 to 2019 went to Omaha 4 times, 4 different times. 14, 16, 18, 19. Now not making it to the NCAA tournament. So what has changed and why? And I'm going to go through a couple of different things before we kind of get into some of your thoughts on the baseball program and what you want to see happen, what you want to see happen next. But for now, this, and it's been going on, I think, over the last year, and certainly accelerated internally over the last couple of months. But what has to happen right now with Texas Tech baseball, you've got to reassess everything. You've got to reevaluate everything you're doing. You've got to recommit to the program financially and otherwise. All of those things have to happen. You have to ask the question, what changed and why over the last several years? You go from 2020, where you were 16-3 in 2020, and we all know that that team was great and was going to have a chance to get back to Omaha. And then the season gets derailed and shut down by COVID. I mean, you only won like 4 more games than you had wins in 2020 on March 13th. Indeed, James, never take the postseason for granted. As we have said numerous times, these are the good old days. You better enjoy them when things are going well. So what changed and why? How do you fix it? What needs to take place? What are your thoughts on what to change, how to fix it, what needs to take place? What are we seeing right now? Now, what are the biggest changes in the college baseball landscape over the last 4 years? Transfer portal, NIL. 100%. Texas Tech actually utilized the transfer portal pretty good, even before it was really known as the portal. In 2019, 2020, you were bringing in guys from Arkansas. You had a few people going. You know, it wasn't like Tim Tadlock said, we'll never take a transfer or anything else. But then things rapidly changed over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, is that everything that is the problem with Tech baseball right now? I ask you that question. You know, is it talent evaluation? What changed there? Well, you got the same guys evaluating talent that have put more pitchers into Major League Baseball than hitters from Texas Tech over the Tim Tadlock era. I'm talking about Matt Gardner and Ray Hayward to a point, but Matt Gardner is your pitching coach. You still got more pitchers out there in the bigs than you got hitters. So it's easy for a lot of people to say, yeah, fire the pitching coach. Pitching coach is the problem. Well, you also fielded like crap the last 2 years, and your situational hitting the last 2 years has been absolute dreck. And that was, again, a problem today. Not that we were surprised by it. So we ask you tonight, what changed and why? How do you fix it? What do you do? I have some thoughts on there. And I should probably say right now, I want to give some of my bona fides a little bit on me talking about Texas Tech baseball. I broadcast my first Texas Tech baseball game in the spring of 1989. I was calling games when Tim Tadlock was playing. I was broadcasting games when Mike Gustafson was playing. I say that because Gus is, a great analyst now, in college baseball analyst and everything else. Only John Harris in the market was calling games before me by a couple of years because he's freaking old. But I say that to point out that I've been around there. I called Texas Tech's first Big 12 championship regular season, Big 12 tournament win, 1998. On the mic with Mark Finkner for a lot of those games. Did games early 90s, mid 90s, early 2000s, all that stuff. I've covered the program for a while. And I say all of that to say I have seen the context in the changes from the days of Texas Tech with an all-grass infield to half turf, half whatever, to no funding whatsoever, to good funding, to Larry Hayes having to step down, the Dan Switch. Because I realized that maybe there are a lot of people that come in on these broadcasts or whatever and think, okay, who's this Hyatt guy and what he's. I've been around Texas Tech baseball just a little bit. All right? Just a little bit. So I say all that to set up the idea that I can listen to your comments. I can flesh them out and put them in the proper context of where we are today with the program, where the program can go in the future. Not that I'm smarter than anybody else, I just think it's important that maybe some new people or otherwise, maybe this Hyatt guy actually has been around a little bit. I can tell you a story about Tim Tadlock busting up a hotel room in 1990 in Las Cruces, New Mexico, reenacting WWF wrestling moves with teammates. Facilities upgrade. Okay, I agree. Facilities have to be upgraded. The clubhouse was nice, but the facilities need a complete overhaul. And Texas Tech has ignored that over the last 10 years, pouring money, rightfully so, probably into football and basketball and the sports that make a lot of money. But 100% they took for granted, and they neglected Danlaw Field. Chris, I think that baseball program didn't embrace NIL like the other programs at Tech and are just now trying to catch up. I think there's some legitimacy to that statement. I believe that you are correct in saying that early on, the Tim Tadlock model is not built around a ton of transfers and having a new roster every year. It's about bringing in really good players, having them for 2 or 3 years, building a culture. And culture matters. And I'm a huge culture guy. And it's hard to do the culture thing when guys show up every year and they're here for a year and they're gone. 100% agree with that. Texas Tech baseball, says Robert, played like an average team. They weren't average, they were bad. I don't believe that by firing coaches you will accomplish anything. I'll be shocked if there are not fairly major changes within the baseball coaching staff. I don't know what that's going to look like. Straight up firings, reassignment, anything else. I don't know. And this is where we get into the idea, are Tim Tadlock and Kirby Hocutt aligned on their vision for Texas Tech baseball? When they sit down next week, and it probably won't be this week, when they sit down next week and Kirby Hocutt has his idea of what needs to happen and Tim Tadlock has his idea of what needs to be happening, are they going to be in alignment? Now, I would say up to this point, I think they've probably been in pretty good alignment. Why wouldn't they be? You've had great success. Things change. So that would be one of the biggest changes when you ask, okay, how do you fix this? Do the bill payers and the head coach agree on how to fix it? I don't know. We're going to find out. Chris, the athletic department also took for granted the success of the program, haven't given them the resources compared to other programs. Agreed. Substantially, 100%. Didn't we go downhill after Hayward's departure? No, not at all. Hayward has been with the program the entire time. He has remained with the program. Matt Gardner is the pitching coach. You went to at least 2 College World Series appearances, maybe 3. I'm trying to remember which year Hayward kind of transitioned out from the day-to-day guy, and Hayward became, I want to say that was 17, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. By the way, Ray Hayward's an awesome dude. He's so cool. And he sounds like when you talk to him, he sounds like Jerry Jeff Walker. If you ever hear an interview with Ray Hayward, former Major League pitcher, and just go, man, that sounds like Jerry Jeff Walker talking right there. Wet Penguin, which is painful. The entire program is a far cry from the annual Omaha contenders of not very long ago. Well, yeah, you hadn't made the tournament in 2 years, Captain Obvious. Tell me why. Tell me why. So the big question, does Tim Tadlock work his way? Does Tim Tadlock's way work in the new era of college sports? It's one I don't want to ask, but needs to be looked at. Tim's my guy. I'll ride with whatever he wants to do. That's the whole thing about this chart right here on the legal pad. Hocutt and Tadlock aligned, yes or no? If yes, what's the next move? What do you need to do? Are the talent evaluators bad all of a sudden? I don't think so. Do you need more money? Yes, I believe so. Do you need more facilities? Yes, I believe so. Do you need to change some of your coaches? I will agree to whatever stipulation that Tim Tadlock and Kirby Hocutt agree to on that. If they want to change coaches, great. If they want to make staff changes, knock it out, do it. It happens. Happens all the time in business and everything else. If Tim Tadlock and Kirby Hocutt agree that the people are right, the people on the bus are right, that the outside the line stuff was the problem, and they want to run it back next year with a different approach monetarily and otherwise, I'll ride with that too. Because only one man on the Texas Tech campus has earned the right to have more slack than Tim Tadlock, and that's Wes Kidley. That's it. Tim Tadlock gets all the slack in the world on that campus for me. Well, they hadn't even made the tournament in 2 years. Don't give a shit. Went to 4 trips to Omaha, winning Big 12 championships, doing things that's never been done. If you think I'm afraid to ride with that one more time, you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. Now, with that comes next year that whatever you agree to, whatever it is, there must be substantial improvement, and it's not just making the tournament. Does baseball need a GM type role on the staff? I don't think so. I don't know that we're there yet with baseball. Now we have 3 things that are coming into play here. How many scholarships do you want to fund? What's your cap going to be? Baseball needs to spend. And again, you can't compete with just the Big 12 if you want to be a player in college baseball. You have to think like an SEC school, about $10 million, right around what you're doing on basketball. All right. But that's $10 million spread over 20 something guys. Basketball's 10, 12 million spread over 7 or 8 guys. I don't think you need a GM to do that. Alan, facilities upgrade, start from scratch, it's a dump. I would 100%, if they said Tech's going to have to play at LCU, O'Banion Field, and whatever, and play games at Midland and Hodgetown to build a new facility, 100% I would be on board with that. Question is, who's going to pony up the dough? Facilities now are hard to come by because the money is going to the players now. You've gone to the professional model where pro sports teams don't spend money on facilities. They have the taxpayer do it, like the idiots in Arlington, Texas, who pony up the tax dollars to build Jerry Jones that Taj Mahal. Tech doesn't have that option. You know? Jan's one of the great fans out there. Finally went to a Big 12 tournament. Fielding cost us today, not pitching. Pitching wasn't really that good. Fielding, 3 errors that led to runs, not good at all. Got to invest money into the program. Coaching isn't the same as it was when Tadlock came here. Kids are so different now. Damn kids. Darn the kids. Would have got away with it. Wasn't for those meddling kids. Scooby-Doo quotes. Dang old Scooby-Doo. Hey, by the way, welcome to Diamond Talk, brought to you tonight by the Shropshire Insurance Agency of Texas, based in Lubbock, Texas. Independent, just like all great Red Raiders in Texas. Give Jeff a holler, whether it's your home or your auto, or maybe you got business insurance you need to talk about. Heck, maybe you're on a board at church. Not board at church, that's totally different, but you know what to do. All the communication brought to you by United Supermarkets in Market Street. That's the grocery store in Lubbock that you shop at, that your money goes to Texas Tech, as opposed to another grocery store you shop at, maybe, and their money goes to put their name on a scoreboard in Austin. Also by Tall Pine Resort in Red River, New Mexico. Up the valley, different from staying in town, rustic, private lake, stream running through it, a little bitty cabin sitting there with no TV and no phone and no reason to even wonder what's going on outside the world. It's beautiful. I love it. You got to check it out. So what's next for Texas Tech baseball? They lose 6-5 today. I'm not even reviewing the game. So what's the point in reviewing the game today? There is no point. What do you want to see and why? If you're a Tech baseball fan, if you love Tech baseball, what do you want to see and why going forward? I told you my history with the program. Some people would say I'm too close to the program to offer intelligent insight. Some would say, you know, he didn't like it. Yeah, I would disagree with all of that. How do you fix it? What do you got to do? All right, Wendy is jumping in there on our YouTube channel. Love the YouTube people. We need more of them. Everybody watching the program, run to YouTube, sign up, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, hit like, and then you can watch it wherever you want to. The pitchers aren't Big 12 arms, and that's coming from a pitching coach from a team who swept us in a midweek. Wendy quoting a coach, a pitching coach from a team who swept us in a midweek. Who could that be? The pitchers weren't good. Last year, you could make the excuse that you had some injuries and that set you back, and I would buy that. This year, you were moderately healthy on the arms. They weren't good. They didn't execute pitches. They didn't challenge the strike zone nearly enough for me. They weren't good. But again, I go back and say, okay, what changed? Did Matt Gardner suddenly not know how to identify a pitcher? Did Tim Tadlock suddenly not know how to identify a pitcher? Ray Hayward, all of the coaching staff, all of a sudden, the ones who had put more Tech pitchers into big league ball than any other stretch of Texas Tech, did they go dumb on that? Or can you not compete because you ain't got the money? Tell me. More money, more talent, staffing changes and facilities. You can't tell me Tim suddenly forgot ball. I agree. Tim Tadlock ain't no dummy when it comes to baseball. Never has been, never will be. Tyler, we're the worst in the Big 12. Well, actually, you're not. And the Big 12 stinks. Liberty, Coastal Carolina, DBU. They aren't spending as much as we are. They're not playing in the same conference. Coastal Carolina, by percentage of their athletic department budget, according to a survey 2 years ago, spends more on baseball than any baseball program out there in the major conferences. But I understand what you're saying. I truly do. I get what you're saying. But you're not the worst in the Big 12. Now, here's the problem. The Big 12 does stink at baseball. You're not going to get, I don't think you're going to get a regional host out of the Big 12. There was a time back in March where I was wondering if you could get more than 2 or 3 teams in the tournament. The good news, if you get things right, you can own the Big 12, but you're going to have to operate like an SEC team. You must have the mindset, the budget, and everything else. If you want to go to Omaha, if you want to be a top 20, top 15 national seed every year, have a chance to host a regional, you have to think like the SEC. You have to act like the SEC. You have to spend like the SEC. You guys willing to do it? You tell me. When does Danlaw become obsolete? Danlaw became obsolete in 2015. Probably before that. I understand the sentiment of spending more, but it feels like more than just a spending problem. I don't care about your feelings. I care about the rationality, the intelligent thinking. The money comes first. Always has, always will. After that, how do you spend it? But yeah, you've got problems on the money side. Danlaw has been obsolete since 15. Yeah, I would say 15, maybe even earlier. TCU will win the Big 12 tournament and luck into hosting. If they win the Big 12 tournament, I don't know that that will get them into hosting. Let me see if I got D1 RPI up right now. D1 RPI right now. So to host, you have to be top 16. TCU is 17 right now, and I'm looking at seeing if there's anybody in the top 16 that can't host. Don't see it. They might be reluctant to give Tennessee a host, but TCU at 37-17, just 7-7 in quad 1, 12-7. They're the only shot, and I don't think they'll win the Big 12 tournament because I don't think they're going to expend enough gas to do it. I don't know. I mean, they might get the default host, and I'm going to compare this to how Texas Tech in softball, the RPI was borderline hosting, depending on what you wanted to look at. But they said, hey, you're actually a legit conference. Your champion deserves it. I don't know that TCU gets that benefit of the doubt in baseball. We'll see. We'll see. Robert, thank you. Why do we keep putting lipstick on the pig? Because they don't have another option. They don't have any other option. They invested, I don't know, like 15 million or something crazy on a clubhouse. Well, that's where the players spend a lot of time, and that's great. And I hated that because it locked you into the site there at Danlaw Field for the foreseeable future. You can't pick the clubhouse up and move it. So now the only way I think that Texas Tech can justify building a new baseball stadium is to tear down Danlaw where it is, rebuild it where it is, which means you can't play there for a year. And some other schools have done that. Utah far and away the worst program. Yeah, and Allen would know. No fan support building a new stadium that holds less than O'Banion Field. Go Mustangs. All right. So we circle back, all the way back to the beginning. And for those just getting in or those who've staggered in towards the end or came in halfway or whatever, it's Diamond Talk brought to you by United Supermarkets on the chat line, the Shropshire Agency, insurance agency in Lubbock, Texas, Tall Pine Resort in Red River. If you want to get out in the wilds of northern New Mexico this summer and have some fun, you need to go to Tall Pine. All right, so what's next for Tech? What needs to change? What changed and why? How do you fix it? Money, staff, evaluation, and are Hokut and Tadlock aligned in their thinking on what's going to come up? So all those questions I ask you, and I know you can't answer the Hokut and Tadlock being aligned. I think they probably are. I think they are for the most part. And then we get into the money guys and the NIL donors, and are they on board with Tadlock and Tadlock on board with that? Does Tadlock even like college baseball anymore? Hell, he could pull a Jay Wright. Tim Tadlock sit there and go, I've had a great run, coached at my alma mater, won championships, went to Omaha, got paid. I'm going fishing. Maybe he hates it that much. I don't know that that's the case. I'm just saying we have seen coaches in this era who have won national championships, even more than what Tadlock has done, and say, I don't like it, and I don't have to do it. So that'll be the first question probably that gets asked and answered in the coming days. And I believe all of this will become clear quickly rather than slowly, because you do have reasons to act fast now. Transfer portal, guys leaving, guys coming in, certainty in the marketplace, all those things. We're not going to be sitting here in September wondering what the hell is going on. So how do you fix it? What do you do? It's always money, right? Everything's money, and it is. So if I'm Kirby Hokut and I'm sitting across the table from Tim, or maybe we're fishing. That's what I'd do. I'd go out fishing. You know, I would absolutely go fishing. Let's talk about this fishing. Got me a double spinnerbait manifold here. We're going to work this little hula popper on the weed line. We're going to do this. Got a Texas rig on the old fake worm. Put some of that sweet smelling stuff on the worm. Going to get them. I would go fishing and say, all right, what do you want to do? And how do you want to do it? We go there. We'll see what happens. A lot of problems can be solved by going fishing. Alan, these problems get solved with money. $15 million for the roster, $50 million for the new stadium. Baseball gets better. I don't think you need $50 million for a new stadium. If Tadlock hangs it up, who's on deck? I don't know. but it'd be a very attractive job. Tech pays well. Tech got money. It would be a very attractive job. I don't know that if he just said, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore." Who do you call? Do you want to go after somebody in the SEC, proven head coach in the SEC that you got to money whip away and say, "All right, well, money whip you out here." I don't know who that would. Would it be an assistant coach, a pitching coach in the SEC? Where would you go? What do you do? Josh Bard. I'm just throwing Josh out there because I like to throw Josh Bard's name out there. I don't know. You would get good applicants, and I never hold myself hostage to the idea of, well, if so and so leaves or you got to hire again, what are we going to do? You're going to hire somebody. It's a job. It pays money. People will want to be a part of it. So do you think Tadlock stays? I don't feel like he's done. I don't get the feeling he thinks he's done. I think he knows he can coach baseball. I don't think he's walking around today going, "My God, I'm so stupid. I can't coach baseball anymore. What the hell am I doing here? I need to just go to Lake Allen Henry." No, I don't think. So does he stay? I mean, I would assume so at this point. But again, it goes back to everything we just talked about. Are he and Hokut in alignment on their thinking about that? If not, then you pick up your hat and you leave. Or if you're Hokut, you go, "We're not in alignment, you got to go." I assume they are. Does he want to make the changes necessary that his boss believes are necessary? That's another thing, that kind of got to deal with. So do I think he stays? Yeah, I think he does. Can't guarantee it. Things change. Vitello at Tennessee, just kidding. He will hold back Tennessee. And I say hold back, and this is a guy who's, gone to the World Series, we know. But his team plays with their hair on fire, and at the most critical moments when they need to be composed, they can't be composed. And I will, in high leverage situations, bet against Tennessee as long as Vitello is there. Free money, baby. In the most high leverage situations. Oh, yeah, they'll win 40 games. They'll do their stuff. They'll whatever. Yeah, I'll bet against them. You can't play baseball the way Vitello creates a culture that way. Ain't going to work. You're not going to win. Now, when I say win, you're not going to win a national championship. You're not going to do things be on a certain level. You just can't play the game that way, in my opinion. Particularly with 18 to 23-year-olds, you can't play the game that way. Robert, why would he resist, or why would TTU fire Tim? Those are two very dumb questions, guys. Well, he might not want to be involved in it, Robert. Neither one is dumb. That he might not want to do the things that his bosses think he needs to do, and his boss and the NIL people and the money people might say, "We don't believe he's going to do the things we want to be done." That's just business. That's not dumb questions. Anybody at any time could be fired. Yeah. I mean, it's not a matter of resist. It's just you could have two smart people can have two conflicting visions on what they want to do from a business standpoint, So who would our BMDs, big money donors, will approve NIL allocation for baseball? Our AD. Do you want to go to football today? Okay, so I think I'm trying to ascertain and divine what you're saying here. There's a lot of money people that like baseball. It's not like people don't like baseball. They're willing to put it in there. 15 million for roster, but would be multiples higher than any SEC program. No, not necessarily. From the people I've talked to, everything else, I think the going rate right now, NIL baseball, is going to be around 10. I don't know where you got the 15 million. I think if you're in between 8 and 12 going forward next year, with the increase in scholarships. Certainly, that's another thing that we really probably hadn't talked about enough. That the increase in scholarships from 11-7 up to 30 whatever, it's allowing SEC teams in particular to stack talent and store it away from other teams. That it's taking talent, and the guy that would have been the starting second baseman at Tech making blank, well, he might sign with Tennessee and not necessarily start, but make as much NIL money and get the scholarship money. So that scholarship aspect is kind of the dirty little secret in college baseball right now that a lot of people at first thought, yeah, hey, we're going to go from 11-7, we're going to bump it up, this is going to be great. And all of a sudden they realize, oh, shit, we can't afford to pay 30 guys. But they can, and they will. So you're seeing a talent draw, and really it's sucking out of the Big 12, I think, by the SEC. And it's not just Tech, it's Oklahoma State, it's Baylor, it's TCU that are fighting all of that monetary aspect that's bringing it more towards the SEC. And just like the softball, the SEC Invitational. Tech has a lot of big money people besides the usual suspects. That's right. And one of them is David Collier, KMEC 28 Sports Director, your host in Red Raider Nation. So thank you for the kind words. Tim is untouchable, period. I ain't touching it. I ain't going to do it. Does Kennedy have a brother who can pitch? What about her? Just underhanded. I mean, she could work like, Friday night softball, Saturday second game, go back to softball. You could schedule the games where she could pitch both. I mean, she's got like 200 pitches in her every weekend. Wouldn't that be fascinating? See a softball pitcher throwing a baseball underhanded. I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. But to my knowledge, no, unfortunately, I don't think we have that aspect. All right, we enjoyed all of it tonight. I wish it had a better outcome. I wish we had a better way to end our Diamond Talks for this season. But fret not, we'll continue talking about Texas Tech baseball as the days go on. I think we're going to have a lot of news in a very short amount of time. I don't think you're going to have to wait very long to get some clarity on the program in the coming days. So I don't think you're going to have to wait too long on that. We'll be back with you tomorrow, Thursday night. Going to be good. Big old over-under rated right Thursday. We'll be looking at softball, getting ready to go this weekend, all that good stuff, and everything else on your mind. So we're going to post this. We ask you to do a couple of things. Everybody subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't cost nothing. It's all free. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. If you're on YouTube, hit like, hit share, grow the algorithm. That would be awesome. Same thing, follow us on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, and I assume most of you are following us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. And then you can follow David Collier at Collier on TV, and he's got all the cool little videos, which are like really funny as hell, of coaches looking like babies. I don't understand how that works, but it's funny, and we like it, so that's good. Now, then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to post this on our website, theraiderland.com. You can come back off that, and you can share it on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. A lot of different ways you can help out all of our great sponsors, like United Supermarkets, who takes care of Texas Tech, like the Shropshire Agency here in Lubbock, Texas, and Tall Pine Resort in Red River. We had a blast. Can't wait to see what happens. Going to be interesting, right? All right. You guys had good discussion. You guys are one of the best audiences in all of sports, and I say that totally sucking up to you guys, trying to make you feel good about your life.